Yes, more Langrisser Millennium characters are on their way. If you guys have started on the newest time rift, you may have seen these two twins. So the first one that we'll take a look at is the one with the glasses. I think her name is pronounced Elijah. I see like two different variations of her name, so I'm not 100% sure which one it is. She's magic that's part of the Glory, Origin, and Princess faction, who can be either mage or holy class. Her talent lets her deal more damage. At the end of action, she summons an Angel of Justice at her location, so when allies around her enter battle within 3 blocks, restores HP. If there's already an Angel of Justice, she can choose to move it to her location, which has a cooldown. Angel of Justice is considered to have a reach range of its own skill within range, and ranged soldiers can attack with it. At the end of action, if you're around one circle of it, gain 1 stack of Spiritual Perception. So the summon gets +2 range, more int, and damage skill that stacks up to 5 times. The only thing that I could imagine is if you manage to fully ramp up the summon, right? And then if it dies, and then when you go back to summon again, it does not keep those stacks. Therefore, you have to ramp him up again. Stuff like that is pretty annoying, as it means that you want to move around it. And also, I think using the summon might be similar to Sagani with how the range works. Maybe the summon can attack too as well. I'm not entirely sure if I got that entirely right. One of her unique skills has a passive where if you have 2 stacks of perception, enemies within the Angel of Justice area will consume an additional 1 mobility when moving. It's an AoE that can be used on herself or on the Angel of Justice that attacks within 5 blocks and teleports enemies 3 blocks away from the angel or her. So similar to Odious, it's more of a get away from me tool. She has a support skill to gain a stack of Huyu, where it gives immunity to 1 debuff for each stack of perception. It accumulates up to 5 times. Afterwards, you can act again, moving 2 blocks. Act again skills, always very prominent. With the 3C, its passive has the angel. If you're within 2 blocks of it, magic defense will be increased. And it's fine, it's alright. The caster will not die. Oh, wait, yeah, this is a revive. When that happens, the angel and perception stacks are removed. It's a single target skill. When you kill the enemy, gets 1 stack of perception. At the end of skill release action, all allies with an angel radius gains 2 stack of Huyu, which is an immunity buff that stacks to 5 times. Honestly, all I'm seeing is that she just likes to do some big damage, making good utilization, and possibly a combo attack with her summon, if I'm understanding that right. This whole idea of playing around her summon for maximum benefits really comes easy in PvE. However, for PvP, if you're the type that likes to play around your tanks quite often, then yeah, I would say she's usable for those kind of playstyle. Like tank push, turtle comp, I don't think she's gonna be that great in rush. Plus, it should really only take like 1 or maybe at best 2 turns to really ramp her up. Doing so is quite rewarding because it gives those characters debuff immunity. Plus, she even has mass attack for all that trouble, and even has holy work to be this pseudo healer. Or just carry her AoE to tell the enemies to back off. That's always an option. I can imagine that you would kind of want to play her very similar to LLR Chris, with more offensive power with a small role as a support, which is the role that Mage Chris has. The other twin is Alia. I kind of want to make a guess and say that she's gonna be like the polar opposite of her sister. She's magic who is in the same faction as her sister, who is only holy. Her talent lets her do more damage. Initially, she has 3 lucky effects. First is luck, heals nearby allies at the end of action. The second one is lucky, which increases her int. Finally, with good luck, she gets 1 random buff at the end of turn, and this lucky can exist up to 3 at the same time. Gains 1 random lucky at the start of round. She gets +2 range when she has 2 or more lucky of the same kind, and press the cooldown of all damage skills if she has 3 or more lucky at the same type. It is going to be quite tedious, as I'm sure there's going to be more ways to get these luck, plus most definitely you're going to be using them. One of her unique skill has you select an ally and then get a random luck equal to the amount of luck consumed by the skill. If you choose luck, it heals 50% of your own HP, which consumes up to 3 luck, and recovers 15% more each time. Lucky increases attack and int by 50% for 2 turns, which can consume up to 3 stacks that boost it by 5% each time. With good luck, it applies 1 random buff each time. Using any of the above skills does not lower buff duration and can attack again, but the mobility is based on what you had left before using the skill, and you can choose to attack. It kinda would've been cool if she could use these skills for each separate times, based on her luck. Her single target skill heals based on damage, with 2 or more lucky, it ignores 20% of magic defense, which I don't really understand this one because it's literally just Dark Reaper but slightly worse. Finally with the 3C, the passive on it, when you have 3 or more lucky at the same kind, the enemy cannot attack. It's a single target skill when moving 1 block again for each of the same lucky after. Yeah, that was kinda confusing, but after taking action, can choose to get 1 additional lucky which does not get consumed for 2 turns. Alright, yeah. So far, my only issue with Alia is that she is more inclined to the support role compared to her sister. But the problem with her support role is that it's mainly single target support. She has no form of doing any kind of AoE healing or like any kind of AoE buffing too. She does have Faith, the passive skill, which you may or may not use it because of her unique skill. But with the 2C, she also has Holy Word. So maybe you can use this combined with the Eternal Life, which is a good combination of healing. And that's really my only critique about this character. Like, she's not like a crazy attacker, but you do see that she has a lot more support going for her, but there's no real way of supplying those buffs to multiple allies at once. So yeah, it's kind of a shame. There are 2 new soldiers that were introduced. There's a new Holy Soldier that does more damage for each block move and heals HP 2 before battle. I think it's about time that we got another offensive Holy Soldier. The only one that comes to mind is the Fighting Monk. I'm pretty sure soldiers like that have a tighter restrictions where, like, let's say the hero using them needs to be a holy class to get like more benefits, like more attack increase or like defense too. So it's finally nice that we got a Holy Soldier who's more leaning on the offensive side with hardly any restrictions. There's a new Assassin Soldier. They have more attack and crit. The end of action, if the soldier is within danger zone, they get more attack and crit for 1 turn. So that's a 35% attack increase and 50% crit boost in total. This should be more than the faceless, yeah? It is going to be very good, especially for characters who have at the again skills. With the exclusive, it's gonna be a helmet for Tabres. If an ally takes damage from an enemy, they get 1 stack of gloom. When entering battle with the skill cooldown is reduced by 1 for every gloom stack the enemy has. I think in global it's called Feather, like Dark Feather, Shadow Feather, something like that. But it's probably great that she doesn't have to rely on her teammates to start spreading them around, and I'm pretty sure they had to die for it too. And there's also her 1C as well. And cooldown is really nice, especially when you consider like the way how her talent works. It's gonna be very insane. There are some new equips that they got in this update. So starting off with the weapon, when entering battle, crit and crit damage increases by 5% for every 1 block away from the enemy up to 15%. Yo, we got our second alternative choice if you don't have the Crystal Stinger. Even if you can't attack from 3 blocks, that 10% is still very good. The armor here, you have a 100% chance of dispelling the enemy buff before battle. It does sound good at first, but typically, you want an armor that you know for sure will keep you alive. So I would say like maybe if you don't have like any kind of those armors, then this can serve as a temporary choice. For the helmet, if there's no ally nearby, cause self and 1 random ally to gain 50% reduction to AoEs, and immunity to unusable action skills for 1 turn. Quite good I would say, in certain situations. Maybe if you run into like an AoE problem a lot in PvP, and I would say it's good in regular content too, for like those certain type of fights. So if you find yourself running into that problem a lot, just find them like really annoying, this could be like a quick term solution, especially the silence immunity too. Very good. With the accessory, when you cast a skill, you gain 1 stack for every ally hit. So you get a buff where when the action ends or take damage, there's less than 1 health. Okay, yeah, I'm reading this, and it looks like it's saying that it heals 1 ally within 2 blocks if they're below 80% HP, which stacks 5 times. They're actually cooking with these new equips. In a good way, like I don't think these equipments are like really OP. Some may say that this one could be OP, maybe. Some may not. I don't think it's that crazy good. It does take away the bulkiness from Swordsmith and the silence immunity from the Holy Ring, but you can't combine this with the new helmet, which only leaves the only issue that you're gonna be vulnerable to fixed damage. For the casting skills, first up is Yulia. She gets the effect when her health is greater than or equal to 70%. She gets +1 mobility. Nice since her mobility is the only issue, but I can't help but feel like that a little something could be added. Like, I'm not sure what to like think of, but this is good, but at the same time it feels like really underwhelming. Feels like another thing should have been added, but I just can't wrap my finger around it. Second is Kirika. If she has 4 talent stack, cast Falling Shadow where, yeah, I figured where this was going. For each enemy hit by Shining, which looks like her 3C, the skill cooldown is reduced by 1. Really good if you're thinking about trying to use her again, once this comes out. Cause Kirika has always not been bad, like she's still very good. Third is Sonia. The buff and debuff effect applied by the charm increases 1 extra turn, which most likely looks like her 3C. It's increased to the whole map, and when Electric Sword hits the enemy with duel, it causes them to lose control. Yeah, cause back then, it was an annoying thing cause the 3C made it so that the enemy can only target her. The Electric Sword thing should have been a thing I felt like a while back, but with the charm effect, I think that's what it's called, no duel. It was very annoying back then, yeah, but that was when characters actually felt balanced, right? However, nowadays, with so many characters flying around just being so ridiculous, it's passable. Last one is Excella. When she uses Ancient Song, gains charge, which can be used to attack again but is immovable? What? I mean, I like it a lot. Like, this is a very good one because it allows her to guarantee that 100% crit chance with also skill cooldown, but I don't understand why they're gonna make her stationary. Just let her move 3 blocks. It's not like she's doing anything crazy. With some of the interesting banners that I saw, they reared up with Tabres and Jace, a Destiny banner that has pressure for bones, a Rebirth banner, and this was the update that CN had their Shining Resonance rerun. As for the content that CN got, the Shining Force farmable event, it made its rerun, the Battle Pass with the 4 new equips, the lottery event for some rewards, a login event, and they updated the store to where you can buy a lot more stuff. For example, the Wheel of Fate. Then the Endless Voyage, which for some reason it still goes up to tier 10. Why did they remove 5 extra floors? I have no idea why they did that. Some of the skins that they got, the Echo like for both Elijah and Ilia. Ilia's nice is pretty nice, but I personally like Elijah a lot more. It's got those like fancy aesthetics to it that makes it look cool. Season 19 ended for them around this update, so the champion skin for Awakener came out, which is a wild design. So with season 20, the gold skin for Jessica, which looks very nice, and the silver soldier skin for the Wild Expedition Archer Soldier. Then we have a Macholata skin for Amadeus. Alright, so that was about most of everything that the CN got in this update. The new characters look very solid, I would say. Elijah is not bad, you just gotta play around her summon all the time, plus very good damage too. Meanwhile, Alia, she could have been a lot better. Her potential as a damage dealer isn't really impressive, it looks like. Mostly it just comes down to her support role, that's just more underwhelming. Like, you're not doing anything quite unique, plus she isn't doing like AoE healing or AoE buffing. That's like the one big issue with her. Okay, other than that, I honestly can't wait for Kirika, Sonia, Excella's casting skills. Something that Global should have gotten at the same time, I felt like. So it was extremely strange that we got the rerun out of nowhere, where we should have definitely got it during this update. Because most definitely they're going to be saving the casting skills until their actual release. Plus their Echo Light was missing as well, if anyone really cares about spending almost 300 bucks. But that's all I got for you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to like, subscribe, want to see more, and feel free to let me know down in the comments if you guys found anything interesting in this update. Like, are you guys excited for the new characters? Do you guys find Kirika, Sonia, Excella casting skills very interesting? Because they are very good. Like, if you guys want to use them, definitely pick them up. So yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.